Good evening and welcome to the Self Checkout Show. I'm back. We back. Happy Monday, everybody. Monday, March 20th, 2023. We are here. Good evening, good evening, good evening. You know how we do. When you come in, leave a comment. Let us know that you are here and share the live. That's what we want to do. We want to share the live, and we got some stuff that we're talking about tonight, and we want all of you guys to participate because this is an interactive series. You and you talk back to us. It's the show where we take an honest look at what's in our hearts, minds, and spirits. And I'm be with you guys tonight. Hey, Sister Sandy Baldwin is on tonight. Happy Monday to you. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, my co-hosts are with me tonight. They did not allow me. Um, they didn't, or should I say, I didn't ask them if they would like to be co-hosts on the show. I just co-host on the show. So, welcome my co-hosts, Dr. Nancy Murphy and Crystal. Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Hello.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, you
So
drafted
you know,
us.
like we like half of the
No,
view now.
no,
Because you
nothing.
drafted us.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely drafted.
I did.
You did.
I
But
did.
we're
I did.
here.
I'll give you guys a
It's
few
okay.
off here and there. You know how it is. See, Crystal said it's okay. So it's
Okay.
okay.
You
So
know, we
win.
love a good conversation. We love a good conversation.
We're here.
I want y'all to know. I want y'all to know that Martise Murphy did not authorize me to make his wife the one of the co-hosts of the
Don't put
show.
my
I
husband
said
out there.
I would text him. I ain't say it on the show. Yeah, I tell him to his face. Hey, Mama. Good evening. Good
Hey,
evening. Good
Mama.
evening.
Hey.
All right, you guys. All right. All right. All right. So, guys, it's March 20th. We have 11 days left in this month, and I am just about halfway where I want to be with partners for the month. About a month ago, we asked for 50 people to partner with us with a gift of $40 by the 1st of April. Down to 29 people. We need just 29 more of you that love this ministry, that love this show, that love. We don't care about Nancy and Crystal. That's what's really, really important. We want you guys to partner with us. I need your support. And this ain't one of them things like it's we secretly doing stuff. I'm telling you, our second annual conference is coming in August. It's August Friday, August 19th. It it really does cost to put on a nice conference, a nice
Absolutely.
quality conference. And I just believe that if you ask the people that you love, that love you to help, there will be help. So I'm asking for your support in that. Um, we just need 29 members within the next 11 days to say, you know what, I will throw $40 into believe in that ministry. I love the show. So we want you guys to
Pastor
consider
Will,
that.
and let me just interject
And we want to
and
say,
say that not only
yes,
do you have a nice conference, but you also feed the people, and that costs as well. So it's not just a little, some little beverages or waters, but you actually feed the people that attend the conferences. And yes, that costs. It's not free to do that. It costs.
That's
It's
right.
not just a little bag of chips that you're giving out. You actually feed
yeah,
the people a meal.
right,
So go ahead, you all support,
absolutely.
partner, and know that whenever you come to the conference, not only is it a conference, but it's a great conference with information that you can use, that's applicable to you. And you're also going to leave with your tummy full. That's important.
Yeah.
We can't hear you. I can see that you're talking, but we can't hear you.
No.
So Pastor Will is adjusting his microphone, and as he is doing that, we're going to just go ahead and elaborate on the conference a little bit more while he's getting his microphone adjusted so that we can hear him. But again, he's looking for those partners, 29 more people to go ahead and partner with him, with Willie Taylor Ministries, with a gift of $40. This isn't ongoing, but this is a one-time partnership, or maybe he'll do it again later. Phenomenal speakers are always at these conferences. And again, it's information that is applicable to you currently. It's not something that's old news or future news or whatever the case may be, but it's applicable to you right now in the moment. It's what you're going to want to learn about, what you're going to want to talk about, what you're going to want to deal with. And your questions are answered. The floor is open for you also to ask your questions, to make your comments. Deliverance takes place if it needs to be taking place. Prayer goes forth. He does ask for your prayer requests, so we go ahead and accept those as well. But even as such, you're not just spending that time without taking anything away. It's not just about you spiritually, but naturally as well. And as I said before, he's not just giving you a bar of candy, a bag of chips, or a can of pop, little bottle of water, and sending you on your way. If you've attended any of his conferences, you know that you come for that conference, but not only that, you leave with a meal. So he does take every area into consideration, and he cares about you, and he appreciates it whenever you come out and you are a part of any event that Willie Taylor Ministries has. Pastor Will, are you with us again?
I'm back and I'm ready.
You're back and you're ready. All right, go with
back
it.
And I'm ready. Back and I'm ready.
Oh, you're welcome, Sandy.
Brother Martise, I did call your name. I did call. We'll talk about it later, okay? Yes, Sandy, thank you. Sandy did pledge. We thank you for that. Dennis, my brother, for 30 years, about 30, 31, 32 years. We up there, Doc. We appreciate you. Yes, thank you, Dr. Nancie, for updating the people about the Overcomers Gathering. I can't wait to share who's coming. I cannot wait to share who's coming. See all of your faces in the place, but we'll talk about that later. All right, so let's chat for a minute, guys. Our topic tonight: greed, gossip, and gluttony, in no particular order. Those are our points for tonight, and we're going to talk about this because if you guys obviously follow me on Facebook. Those maybe you don't follow me on Facebook, but you can. You just search my name, and there you will find, or you can search the self-checkout show, and you'll find those of you that are listening to the cast. So when I'm coming up, I don't know if this is the same for you, Chris. I don't know if it's the same for you, but when I was coming up in the Black church, especially, felt like sexual sins were, quote, big sins, you know what I mean? And some others were kind of overlooked, if you will. I don't know what's happening with my connection, guys, but we're gonna make it. Some other sins were overlooked and not paid attention to, and I want to talk about these things. Martine, stop me. I wanted to talk about a few of them. It's important that we not classify sin. Sin is just sin, period.
This is true.
Um, Crystal, why do we do that? Why do you think we classify sin? Why do you think we put on this a bit, this a little? Why do we do that?
I think it reverts back to you being less than me. In the Bible, going according to that, no sin is greater than the other sin. But if I can point you out and make your sin appear worse than mine, well, I just told a lie. But you have sexual deviancies and things of that nature. You can gather more people with that than you can with going across the board and saying all of us are wrong. Nobody wants to hear that. So they pinpoint, and I'm not saying all churches or all pastors, you have your specific ones that do what they do. This is their thing, but that's what they do. They pinpoint to try to make your sin greater than theirs. That's what it is.
I think that's good. Her response was amazing, because that's what people do, and not just in the church, but outside of the church as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, we're big and we're known for doing it inside the church again because we want to point out that we can see. It's easy to point out that you can see because you can put your finger on it, and like Crystal just said, I can make you feel less than me. And while I'm talking about what you're doing and pointing out and or telling, gossiping,
yes,
others about what you're doing, it kind of makes me feel like I'm up here and you're down here.
And if I never talk about what I do, I'm never bringing that up to the surface.
Yeah,
it's just what I do in the dark. But because you got caught,
it keeps me under the radar.
So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put yours out there.
Yeah. True.
I think that oh, excuse me, I woke up yesterday with a little something funny happening in my throat. Bear with me. I think
getting over that. We're just getting over that.
We talk about this. Oh, I hate it. But I think in talking about this, we have to I want to say call out that self-righteous spirit. There are people out there, unfortunately, who feel that doing that, I'm cool. If I'm not drinking and smoking and having sex, I'm glutton, stealing, you gossiping, you greedy, you eat. You know what I'm saying? These things that are important to the body of Christ as well, right? So I want to just briefly take a look at a few of these. And number one, I want to look at greed. I want to look at greed. And definition, I looked up the word greed. Here's what I come with. Greed is an intense and selfish desire for something, especially wealth, power, watch this, or food. An intense, selfish desire for something, especially wealth, power, or food. Typically, when we hear greed, we probably tend to think more finance. The Enron scandal. We have these execs and stuff, people going to prison more and more and more for stealing money. All these folks tonight that, like I said, you had a business to get a PPP loan. That's from the spirit of
greed.
intense and selfish desire for something. And do you not know that they are still locking people up for that? Being greedy is, it can land you in some tough spots.
Yeah, definitely.
Intense and selfish desire for something, especially well powerful. Go ahead, Dr. Nancie.
I think that again, even when we speak about greed, gluttony, and or gossip, we have to be mindful. Like you're saying, people are still being locked up, but a lot of times it's just because of people's need to want to fit in or want to be seen or want to be validated, if you will. And that's what greed really, it leads to or comes from, is that need to want to be. And so, yeah, people have done things that will get you in some bad situations because you want more and more and more and more and more. And the more you do it, the bigger the desire becomes, to where it won't just stop with you taking a sign out of someone's house. It won't stop there. It'll stop with you taking the sign, and then the next time you come over, you're taking the sign and you're taking something else. No, I'm being funny. But it'll go to you wanting more because you're greedy for the more. And and if someone sees that you're walking around with the new in bag, then you've got to have something to add to the bag. So that greed goes from the bag to now I need the bag and the shoes, or I need the bag, the shoes, and now the car. And so you're greedy for more because it makes you feel like you matter. Yes, that's a sin. And a lot of times the church doesn't deal with it because we can't always point the finger at it.
Right.
So because you can't always point the finger at, we stay away from that. But again, we point the finger at, or we deal with that's wide open and easily exposed.
It comes in portions. And then what happens is you get people that validate it. Oh, that's a nice bag. Oh, well, I got the shoes. Oh, well, those are nice shoes. And the next thing you know, oh, I need the coat. I got to have a whole outfit. But because it's not in your face, like some sins are right in your face, it's just pieces. Oh, well, she look nice every time I see her, but it's no big deal. You don't realize that she has 47 outfits with the tag still on them because she's just going and going and going.
Exactly.
And they all work hand in hand. See, it starts with the gossip. Then you're hearing what somebody else says. Oh, this is what they have. Oh, well, now I'm trying to keep up with the Joneses. But now it goes from that to greed. Then, of course, y'all have to wine and dine each other. So it goes from greed over to gluttony. That's how that circle is maintained.
And everything is attached to something. Everything is an attachment to something. And we've got to be careful. That's again why it's so important to know who you are, right? And to stay, like some of the seasoned saints said, or some of our seasoned wise parents said, stay in your lane. That's where don't live above your means came from. Right. Because again, we're in a day and age where people want to, be validated and keep up. Hence, greed. And
we have a valid question.
Spaghetti is gluttony.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Tell your friend.
And I think that we should discuss this over I think it's a valid question, John. Thank you for asking that very important question. Yes. You all made, both of you, that they go hand in hand. And I found it really ironic and coincidental that the definition of greed this definition ends with the word. It says intense and selfish desire for something. especially wealth or power or food. Now, Charlotte, if you don't mind, put up the definition for gluttony. Now we see how they go hand in hand. Huh?
Yep.
Habitual. See what I'm saying? Greed, and greed says an extensive want for food. So gluttony is habitual greed or excess. Here, I want with this first. I need us to stop talking about folks because you're there. Because listen, you are flesh. You have something. If you don't do it, you said it. If you didn't say it, you thought it. If you didn't think it, you went to it. Huh? Everybody's got something. The goody two shoes season of people is over for me. I've had it. The Bible is clear. The Apostle Paul was clear that all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. So,
I think that too. The other part of this is, Pastor Will, is that we set the church. That the church, we set. How do I want to say this? The church itself is not equipped, if you will, to handle a lot of these issues: greed, gluttony, gossip. It's not equipped. You know, Apostle Larry Tabron did a live on last Thursday, Friday night, and it dealt with the married people. But I said even then, it's not so much that the church is afraid to deal with this stuff. It's just simply that the church is not equipped to deal with this. Because when you look at greed and gluttony, it really talks about the person and some inadequacies that we feel on the inside. When we begin to deal with greed and when we begin to deal with gluttony, then we have to really be, the church itself at large, I'm speaking now, has to begin to deal with the total person. Right. You got to deal with why there's some voids going on, because again, Charlotte, when you put up greed, put up the definition of greed, it says there's an intense desire. What's driving that desire? What do you feel is missing within you that you have this intense desire or this selfish desire? Selfish is huge too. When you begin to look at selfish, you're doing what you can do for yourself. You're not even considering anybody else. So even in that and being selfish, you're going against the word, because even the word talks about when you find yourself being overtaken by a fault, right? Consider your brother or your, because it could have been you. That's right. So, you know, we've got to be mindful of a lot of these words and these definitions and what's linked to them. And we've got to begin to deal, the church at large has to begin to deal with the total man. And when I say total man, I'm speaking man or woman. We've got to deal with the total person there, and we've got to be able to go back, peeling back layers. So we need to start, and we talked about this once before. I think that you dealt with it, and I know that I've dealt with it before when I was coming on live. But mental health is real, and a lot of this we've got to begin to equip our ministries with those in mental health that can help us deal with ourselves, because we've got to deal with ourselves in order to be able to hit the target where we're speaking of greed, where we're speaking of gluttony, where we begin to speak about gossip, and not just deal with that, but then deal with the effects of those things. Why am I doing it? And what does it then lead to?
There's a certain amount of accountability, not only on the individual's part, but also on your covering. Because if I know that you're not therapists, we understand that, but there's still a certain amount of accountability that you're supposed to have with your flock, because you're covering them. So you want to make sure that they have the correct information.
That's right.
You want to make sure that they know why they're doing these things, because when you know better, you do better.
That's right. That's right. And the church is a hospital. It's a spiritual hospital. First natural, then spiritual. So in the hospital, I need to be able to have everything that I need. Every facet of who I am has to be ministered to and dealt with.
Yep.
And so, yes, while we're pointing out one thing, again, let's remember that it's easy to point out homosexuality because I can see you. I can see you doing it. I can see you practicing in it. I can see you sitting, you know what I'm saying? I can see it. But greed and gluttony, again, it builds up and it goes unnoticed or it goes undealt with because it's not so much, if you will, the easier topic or the easier sin, if you will, to handle.
Right. Yep.
I think we often forget that, as with all sin, it does not, in most, it does not just affect you.
Right.
Correct.
It affects those around you. It affects those that love you. Greed, I'll use what I said a few minutes ago. When you are greedy, want, you can't get enough. You can't get enough. Which is the cause of people going to jail, which is the cause of many being overweight. I mean, if you are extremely overweight, it takes a toll on your health sometimes, and we end up with high blood pressure, heart attack, death even. And sometimes that stems from greed and gluttony. And then, unfortunately, if people die because they can't escape these vices, now if they die, now you leaving your loved ones hurt, crying. See, this is what I'm saying. It affects more than just you, and we have to be mindful of that, But I'll confess something. I'll confess something. Those little bitty, I want to call them chicken minis from Chick-fil-A. My Lord. My Lord. And I might commit gluttony on those.
Because there's probably something in there. Anytime there's a attachment to something, there's something about it that you shouldn't have, and now it looks desirable. So if you say to me, okay, I'm gonna walk away, I'm gonna leave this bowl of jelly beans here, I don't want you to touch them till I come back. That now makes that bowl of jelly beans desirable to you.
Yeah.
So when you go to the doctor and they tell you no fried foods, they tell you, you'll do better if you don't put things in grease and fry them or in lard. Then what do? Well, let me just run to Chick-fil-A. I'm gonna have these last 4 little minis, but then the minis is good. So now tomorrow, well, if I have 4 more, is it really? And that's how you get yourself, because while greed says wealth, power, and food, there are so many other vices that draw you in.
Yeah.
And it's because the devil shines them up and makes them look good.
Yeah. You all share this live. Listen, I'm not seeing enough shares, but I want people to know that this is good information. And honestly, if we're honest with ourselves, and that's really, again, Pastor Will, why this show is so important, is because we really do have to take a look at ourselves. When we look at ourselves, then we can find ourselves in some of these areas. And again, this helps in the areas that maybe the church is not helping in, because it calls you into accountability. And when I'm mature, right, I want to be held accountable. And if I'm saying I'm a believer or a follower of Christ, I want to be held accountable for my actions. Sometimes we need the light shined on us. So you all go ahead and share the live so that other people can pinpoint and know. I tell people all the time when I have these type of discussions, maybe you didn't know about it before now. But guess what? Now that you know about it, now you have something to pray about. See, I find people are always like, well, what is it that I can pray about? Or I don't have nothing to pray about. Well, now you know about greed and gluttony. So take that to the Lord in prayer. Hello, somebody. Go on and tell the Lord, you know what, God? I think I might be falling in a little of that greed area because I'm really looking for a little bit more of this and a little bit more of that. And I need you to help regulate me. Help me figure out what's missing, where the void is, so that I won't find myself falling into greed and or gluttony. It's important, each one reach one, that we help each other, that we pull each other up. So share the live so that other people are discussing the same things. Yes, I'll say openly and transparently, we are tired of always, we know homosexuality is in the world. Right. Yes, we're tired of always hearing about homosexuality. I understand it. So now let's deal with some other stuff, right? Yeah. Let's be part of the solution. Let's deal with some of the other stuff. And that's what's happening on tonight. So go ahead and take the opportunity, share the live, invite your friends and family to come on and be a part of the discussion or to just get the information. They'll be glad they did.
I think that it's a bad thing, a negative thing, when we can never be satisfied.
Yeah, it is.
That's what I'm getting from a couple of these vices. We're never set. We can't get enough of whatever it is. You have sex addicts out there. No matter how much sex they get, it's never enough. I think it was Halle Berry's husband, was it?
Eric Benet.
That was a sex addict. Eric Benet is his name. For example, no matter how much you get, it's never enough. When you get to that point, I'm saying to you, at that point, it becomes sin. Whatever it is.
Yep, that's true.
It becomes sin and it becomes displeasing to the Father because you're not satisfied. Nothing can fill that void.
That's right.
You're trying to fill a void. And I think, Nancie, Crystal, I think that in some of these instances, and we're going to get to them in just a few minutes, I think one of you said that you got to peel back the layers because this somewhere. It started somewhere, and now you have to.
It's reminiscent of a drug addict. It's the same scenario. When you get that first high, you're going to chase it for the rest of your life until you either put yourself in the ground or you decide, I can't chase it no more.
Yes.
So anything, greed, gluttony, money, power, sex, food, all of those things, you're chasing it. You're chasing it because when you first did it, it was this is so delicious. This is so good to me. This is my first time. So you're chasing a high.
You know what, Crystal? That's why I love Dr. Nalzardan. You know, so many people talk about even that, my 600-pound life. But that's why I love Dr. Nalzardan. And I actually, I'm always defending him because so many people say, oh, he's so mean and he's so harsh. And he's so, I said it yesterday on our service. These people that come to him are in a life or death situation. Right? They've already had enablers. They need somebody to say, you need to stop or you're going to be dead. And if you watch these people, like you just said, Crystal, if you watch these people while they're talking about their story and how they got in the circumstance, right? In debt, overweight, homeless, whatever the case may be, then they say what you just said. Oh, the first time it was such a high. But when I was little, everybody was bullying me. And the only thing that would come for me is my food. Or when I was younger, I was molested. See, it's always attached to something.
Always attached
when I was younger, I was molested. But the food, it was my friend. It was the only thing that wouldn't leave me. It comforted me. And the more they ate, because I'm always saying, your stomach didn't start hurting. But they kept eating because, again, it tasted good. And it made them feel better.
And it's over time.
It's a slow
burn.
And people watch them get bigger and bigger and bigger, if you will. Or like Crystal, like you said, the drug addict, people have watched them. You know, when you watch Intervention is another show that deals with the drug addicts. When you watch the family, well, I gave them money because I didn't want them to be upset with me, or I watched them do it because, well, hello.
And again, that goes back to accountability. If
Yep.
I'm watching you get high, but I know I don't want to lose my friend or I don't want to lose my child, then I need to step in. I'm not going to give you the money to get high, because once things dry out, you don't have a choice.
But even bringing this all back to the church, again, that's why I say, as far as the church is related or relevant to this, is that we really need to have some bumpers in place. We need to be open enough to have those psychologists, if you will, psychiatrists, therapists in place to aid and assist. I appreciate Pastor Will, our apostles, because even on yesterday when they were talking about marriage, how they just said, you know what, the Murphys are here. If you need the assistance, we've got this here for you. They talk about Donisha. Listen, we've got a therapist here. If you need the assistance, reach out. And that's what we need to do in the church. Then guess what? The focus will come off of just homosexuality, if you will, because now I'm looking at myself, and guess what? I'm the man in the mirror, and I'm dealing with something. So I can't talk about you, because I can be talking about me too.
But see, the church, a lot of times when you have a leader in place, the leader doesn't want to pass that torch.
Go ahead, Crystal. I'm sorry.
Sometimes the leader doesn't want to pass that torch, because most churches have the equipment that they need to help everybody. There's a psychiatrist, there's a therapist, there's a mother, there's someone who's been through the same thing, but you got to pass the torch. That's not taken away from your stance or your position, but you got to be able to hand it over to somebody else that can handle it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's important that we do what Nancy said, and that's take a look at the man in the mirror. Too often, we have a tendency, and it's like you guys said, because some stuff is just out in the open, we could just see. But I did a conference last year. Last year, I did a conference, or 2 years ago, that know things happening in us sometimes internally that are quietly killing us. And we need to look at ourselves and look off of other people and say, you know, God, show me, right? And be willing enough to confess that I have an issue with whatever it is, if it's greed, if it's gluttony, whatever. Be willing to. The first step to deliverance, the first step to freedom is admitting that you have an issue. You have to admit that you have a problem. Because what we do is we magnify other people's problems so that it'll make ours look smaller. Right? So I think that's very, very important. Take a look at ourselves. Before we came on the live, those of you that are viewing with, I've watched a video of a preacher who was just really down on people and whoremongers and men sleeping around women. And I mean, he threw. I mean, wow, it was rough. I said, I'm glad I ain't in that service, because I probably would have walked out, bro. You ain't finna preach on people all night. But anyway, in the comments of this video, there was a young lady who said, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, you talking about every sin. What about gluttony? And the reason, I'm sure, the reason she said that is because the preacher is very large. He is extremely overweight. And was she out of order? Sure she was. But at the same time, I think that's a valid question. Because while we're putting out your stuff, your flaws, and your shortcomings, your downfalls, we got to remember we have them too.
Yeah.
And this guy, this preacher, when the lady said, what about gluttony? Because that's the lady, ask your mama, ask your grandmama. I said, now, sir, no. See, now you done crossed over into disrespect. I don't care what our titles are. You can't be You're not responsible for what other people say, but you are responsible for what you say.
That's right.
We need to get out of line like that, right? And
because it called him into accountability.
I saw that,
It called him into accountability. He didn't want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just be honest about it. Because, like you said, although we have titles, if you will, we're still human beings. We're people. And so what happened was, while he was doing that, see, that's what the old saints used to tell us too, is we have to be careful because the devil will expose us too while we expose somebody else, right? The devil know what we're doing too.
Absolutely.
So while he's talking about that, her question was very valid. And so now, now you're being exposed and now you're being called into accountability. But instead of you dealing with you, instead of you saying, you know what?
You attack.
What he should have said was, you know what? You're right. He should have. Right. I mean, come on, let's just be honest, right? Because if he's overweight and I don't know who it is, let me put this disclaimer out there. I don't have a clue as to what pastor it is. So if I'm stepping on some toes, forgive me. But if it was you, you were you. You know when you are overweight or you know when you are out of shape, if you will. Let's be honest. The doctor, like Pastor Will said, the doctor has told you that you have high blood pressure or you're threatening it or you're threatening diabetes or you're threatening anything else. And so what have you now done for you? So transparency should have said, you know what, you're right. While I'm discussing this, I need to deal with me too. So you're right. Yes, gluttony is a sin. And yes, I need to figure out what's going on with me, or I'm going to put a plan in place. Or he could have said, you know what, thank you, because now you've gotten me. So I'm going to begin to do this, and this. See, that's the problem. We don't want the light shine on us.
Never.
Shine a light on everybody else. Or anything else.
Yep. That's true. You don't want to take accountability.
People have the power of the microphone. People, we have the power of the microphone. But in this old age of social media, people have the power. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing they will love it.
Yeah, they will drink.
Because other folks have it. It's real. It's happening. I says there always going to be a leader that needs to be held accountable, but who's them accountable? All know a leader, pastor, bishop that needs to be held accountable. That word we have said so much on this show tonight. Accountability is key. It's important, y'all.
It's important.
Accountability is important. It really is. And that's why it's important, again, to check maybe you need to do a show on accountability, and the importance of accountability. We're in a day and age right now where we really need to be equipped with accountability, with consistency, with, again, like you did before, with relationship, with loyalties, with trust, because all of those things matter. And we need to be accountable. Again, that pastor, that bishop, whomever, who is he answering to? We have to answer to someone. Our children have to answer to someone.
Right.
So accountability, like you're saying, in every area, even when we go to the doctor, while we're speaking about this man, he has to be held accountable. The doctor is going to hold him accountable.
That's right.
For what that scale and that BMI is saying.
There's no space in your life. You're not being held accountable. You're held accountable at every facet: work, church, your home, your husband, your children, your friendships. You have to have accountability.
You have to. And
Let
then
me
if there
tell
was
you
another
this.
a pastor
The
or a bishop
person
or apostle that he was connected to, they should
Uh-huh.
have gotten on the phone and called him and said, "Hey, dude, hey, bro, you know,
wrong.
hey, doc, what you
You're
said
wrong.
was out of line. Take
Yeah.
it down. Take it down. Enough people
Yeah,
have seen it.
absolutely.
Take it down."
A person
That's
that is
accountability.
accountable to no one, very dangerous person.
They are
Yeah.
dangerous.
But anyway,
Yep.
I want to 15 minutes and we're done. 50 done. I want to move to this, and there's an old saying. I'm gonna try to think I got it right. That says, "Any dog that'll bring a bone will carry a
Carry
bone."
on.
We'll carry a bone.
I think I
Yeah,
said that
that's
right.
what our mamas, grandmamas, aunties, all them old folks said before. Any dog that'll carry a bone or will bring a bone will carry a bone.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Gossip, casual or unconstrained conversation or reports about other people, typically involving details that are not confirmed as being true.
Ouch.
So you casually out here telling a lie. That's what's going on.
Ouch.
Mm-hmm.
Ouch.
Yeah. So let me say this. Let me say this to y'all, everybody that's watching. Everybody that's
Say it.
watching. Can I tell you something? I want to tell you something.
Tell us.
I'm very, very careful about who brings you the tea. Okay?
That's right.
Be careful with
That's
that.
right.
Be careful about who brings
careful
you the
with
tea.
that.
That's good stuff.
Careful.
Yep.
Because let me tell you right now, when they get through bringing some hot to you, they gonna take yours to somebody else.
So
That's
true.
right.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
You know how many times I were dinner on people, huh?
Yeah, everybody has a group thread, right?
I had to sip my tea on that one.
Everybody got screenshots. Everybody got group
there
chat.
are people. Yeah. There are people out there who to talk about other people.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't get it.
It falls into greed and gluttony as well. Again, it just makes people feel superior and makes somebody feel like they've got one up on the next person and makes them feel like they've got more or they're better than, so gossip and it makes people feel like, ooh, I gotta tell it.
You gotta tell
You gotta tell it.
I gotta tell it.
Why you gotta tell it?
I gotta tell it. I'm the one.
Yeah. And if I know your business, what if I'm telling? While you telling something? I tell the kids this. While you telling on Crystal, did you tell on yourself?
Not only that,
right?
And I forgot my whole train of thoughts, honey. But you know what it is. If you go and you take this bone, you take this tea and you give it, and then you follow up with this. But don't tell nobody you got it from me.
Ooh.
Oh no, honey, I'm put your name with it.
But wait,
because you tell me on it.
Hey, because watch this. Everybody got a person. Everybody got a person that they'll say, you can't tell nobody, right? You're right, Crystal. But guess what? That person got another person
that they saying the same thing.
They can say nobody, but that person got another. You follow what I'm saying? Next thing you know, everybody know what's going on.
Everybody know, and the story didn't get changed up a bit. No, and it been spiced up too.
You know that.
Yeah,
there are no secrets.
Yeah, Dana, you are absolutely right. I am the first to say yes. You are right.
You are right.
But I think for me, The difference for me is this right here. If it's like you think they make a living off of doing this. You ain't getting paid to talk about other folks' business.
Yeah.
Every time something messy like that come up, no name is involved. Come on, man.
Yeah, and I
you
don't
need
like
to
them.
find
I don't
something
like
to
those
do.
kind of people. Because we all know the one person or the two people. Every circle has one, or every group of people has one, where you know if something is going down or you think something is going down, the one person knows everything. How you know everything? How come you get all the information on why is everybody bringing you the bone?
Because they got their ear to the ground.
You gotta watch that.
They got their ear
You gotta watch that.
But it's so many types of gossipers. That's why you have to determine what the context.
Okay.
Here we go with these.
And what is your intent?
Okay.
Come on, Crystal.
You got multiple gossipers. You got the ones that do this. Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know I wasn't supposed to say nothing. You got that gossiper. You have the gossiper who's like, well, I'm gonna tell them, I'm gonna drop this because they think they better than me. So I want to make sure that everybody knows that they just down here with us at the same. They're not up here. Then you have gossipers that, well, you know, they bring it to you as if it's a concern, or as if they're, well, you know, they need prayer. But at the same token, you're gonna tell everything that's going on in their household. So it's different types of ways to gossip.
It's
and
levels
that's how you get the ear. That's how you get the ear. You got to determine who your audience is and how you got to bring it.
Yeah. I'm big on saying, listen, how do you know what you're saying is true? How do you know? If somebody comes and tell me something, how do you know? Where you get it from? That's my first question. If you can't listen, I'm not interested.
Right.
I got too much going on over here. So I'm not interested.
Couple things about that. One, when I feel like if Nancy comes to me and says, well, Chris, about you, the first thing I'm gonna do is I want to know why she was so comfortable saying it to you. And then,
now, did y'all see what Dinah said? Now look at Dinah.
She love a little good. She likes some good tea now.
Dinah said, like she just said it. She said, "We're all guilty of gossip. Gossip is gossip. Gossip is gossip. I appreciate some good dirt."
Dana, you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. But when it gets to the point where it begins to destroy people's lives, that is an issue.
Yeah.
That's an issue. And we forget that because we're Christians, we saved and all of that, we forget that some people look at us as their safe place.
Yeah.
Confidentiality.
Yeah.
There are some things that I will never repeat because if you trust me enough with your secrets, y'all ain't saying nothing. If you trust me enough with your responsibility to keep that confidential.
And
while
we're saying we all appreciate it, then do you appreciate it when the gossip is about you? You know, while we appreciate the gossip coming, do we appreciate when the gossip is being done?
It ain't fun when the got to go on.
That's right.
So we really got to be careful.
It's true. We all have something to say here and there. We have. And you alive, you say you haven't because you have. We all have.
Well, I would never say I've never gossiped before.
No, you can't say that. You can't say that.
Some stuff should just not by us.
True, Dana.
If someone comes to us in confidentiality and they're looking for us to be their safe place, you just ought not never repeat some stuff. Some stuff you gotta learn, even your own stuff. You better
Some stuff gotta go to the
learn
grave.
some of that
That's
stuff
right.
to the grave.
To the grave. Do you hear me? To the grave.
To both of y'all graves.
Yeah,
The grave. Mm-hmm.
both.
Yeah, best friend, take it to
Listen,
the grave. Best
Going
friend.
to the
No,
grave.
because
Let's
some
go to
of
the
it
grave.
ain't nobody gonna never know.
Some of
Never
it ain't
know.
nobody gonna never
Some
know.
of it ain't nobody. It ain't going to nobody else's grave. It's only going to mine because I ain't telling.
You don't even want
I
to take
know.
it to your grave. You don't even want to take it to your grave. You can't
Listen.
believe it even happened.
Now that's true too.
Hmm.
Sometimes we can't believe it to happen.
You can't even believe it.
That's true.
Right. It's put Dana's comment back. Pay attention to who you giving your dirt to.
That's true.
Which guess
And that's
what?
when we make our mistakes at. We give our
Crystal.
dirt to the wrong
Goes
people.
right back to what we all discussed in friendships. You
Yeah.
gotta have categories and you gotta
I'm
determine
coming to you, Dr.
who you have
Carmina.
around you.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The different types of person.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad to say, it's very sad to say that you have some who will be guys of, I'm concerned about you. Let me take this into prayer. What's going on with you? I'll pray about it. Right now, you're making me mad. Now I'm mad.
Yeah.
Because you lying just so you can find out the tea.
Yeah.
So
going on?
see,
Yep.
so you ain't praying about nothing. You want to go and tell your girlfriends and stuff.
Yep.
Stop
That's
all
all
that
you're gonna do.
line. Dr. Carmita said, are they trying to destroy the other person or themselves? Well, we can look at that a couple ways, because I genuinely believe that everybody is not out to destroy some people. However, on the flip side of that, I also believe that there are a few who intend to destroy you. They intend to destroy, and they do it with purpose. Ask me how I know.
Yeah.
They do it with ease.
You know,
So,
I agree
yeah.
with you wholeheartedly. It brought a thought back to me where here on national television, y'all, I am a reality ratchet TV show watcher. On reality television, Jennifer, if y'all watch the Housewives, Basketball Wives, Basketball Wives, Jennifer exposed Malaysia talking about, because like I didn't know nothing about it, but Jennifer took it upon herself to openly tell the world that this girl's house was in foreclosure. Now, why did you do that?
Because she was
that wasn't gossip just within their group. That was gossip, tea, dirt to the entire world.
But you know what happens is my mom always says, if you back somebody up in a corner, they're going to come out fighting. So if whatever was going on with Jennifer,
she was more than fighting.
Listen, whatever's going on with Jennifer, I can't allow that to get out. So let me distract you with this.
She did. I mean, and it affected, I'm sure. And again, Malaysia is now off of the show. Number one, because she wanted to protect her sanity. But this lady, she has children. She has not just her.
Wait a minute. Yes. Wait, pause.
Mm-hmm.
Did she know of what Jennifer?
Oh, you broke up. I didn't hear nothing.
We can't hear you.
Did you catch her? Say it again.
Did she leave the show because of Jennifer?
Primarily, that was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah, because she had been going through a couple of things in the past.
Okay.
But yeah.
Primarily, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. And yeah, she threw a table the last time, but throw a table at me, but then don't, she put her business. She really did. She gossiped on television, nationally, internationally, whatever you want. The girl's business was just, I said, oh my God.
And you know what? Jennifer has had a lot of things said about her as well. I know we're getting off topic, but even when in the first couple of seasons, when her and Evelyn got into it, and Evelyn dropped all of her business, Jennifer's business, what happens is people always want to try to get their lick back, but they don't get it back with the person that they should be getting their lick back on. So now you done drug this young lady into this, and her mental is now destroyed.
Yeah.
She got to go and pull herself together.
Yeah. Yeah. Gossip is dangerous. I think that we all need to be accountable and do better. And at times, while we like the hot tea and while we like the dirt, sometimes there's a need to have to shut it down. Like, I don't even want to know. People have told me things, and it got to the point where I was like, you know what? I don't want to know. I don't want to know any of it. So don't tell me anything else. I don't want to know.
It's just like going to court. If you're married and your husband gets in trouble and he doesn't tell you anything, they can't hold you responsible. But if we a group of women and everybody has heard the same gossip, you've never shut anything down, you've never told anybody, I don't want to hear it, you are now the same because you didn't bring it to the person who should have known, hey, this is what people are saying about you. Nobody ever wants to carry that bone. But y'all want to sit around and talk and conversate. You give your opinion. It's not like you're sitting at the table being silent.
Yeah.
You now play a role in it. You're an accomplice.
Yep.
Yeah, I want Nita, I want to put said I've lied to see who was spreading rumors. Now you have to be careful. You got to be careful with that one because sometimes rumors stick, and people, even though you lie to see who tell it. If it gets in the hands or the ears of the wrong person, they will believe that rumor and spread further that rumor and damage your reputation.
Yeah.
So you want to be real careful with that. And I want to say this, and we're leaving. I want to say this, Mama, my pastors, and my circle, they know who they are. You absolutely, positively cannot come with anything about either one of them. I'm going to shut you down immediately.
Shut it down. Yeah.
And I'm going to let them know that
it was you
said it.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. Let me tell you how to stop this mess in its tracks. When somebody come to you with some gossip and you don't want to hear it, here's what you do. Say this. Hold on. Let me go get them. We can talk about it together. That's you'll stop it right there.
Stop it right there.
Yeah.
You'll stop
because they weren't trying to tell them.
Yeah. Casual, unconstrained conversation reports about other people involving details that are not confirmed as being true. You ain't got nothing about mine. I'm about ready to slap your face because you can't talk about my folks. You can't.
And you know what? That's even worse. Look at the definition again, Pastor Will. It says typically involving details that are not confirmed as being true. So why are you even talking about something that you don't even know for a fact anyway?
That's right.
Why?
You heard it.
You heard it. You don't even know. At least listen. Pastor Rita Womack said, proof text, or prove the text. At least know that what you're saying is true. Because why would you want to be? Because now you a liar.
That's right.
Now you a liar because you're repeating something that you don't even know for a fact anyway.
And then you withholding the name that you got it from. So now you accountable.
Yeah, that's just too much. Everything is it's attached. Here we go again. It's
Yeah.
all attached, and it leads to greed too. Because now you want to keep on doing something to make you give you some more power or some more influence, if you will.
And once you tell one lie, you got to tell another.
Flesh is never satisfied.
Never satisfied. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yep.
So, guys, I'm glad we had this talk tonight. I'm very, very glad. Hey, my crewmate, how you doing, friend? I'm glad we had this talk tonight because it's important. I need you guys to remember that this show, the self-checkout show, we are going to talk about things that most people are not willing to talk, need to have a discussion about it. These are so many vices. And our point, our goal out here is not just to share them, but it's for self-awareness and for accountability.
Yes.
It's so that we can take something that we've heard on and say, is that me? Maybe I need to check myself out. That's why I love this show. Because you're not going to know a whole lot of preaching and stuff. I preach so I'm preaching next week. Y'all got the week off next week. But I like to bring attention to lots of things that most of us that are really important in our lives and to our lives and those around us. So tonight was greed, gluttony, and gossip. Yeah. And I'm sure that we've all seen ourselves in one or more of those. What do we do? What do we do with the information that me and Nancie and Crystal share? Here's what we do. We take a look in the mirror.
Yes.
And decide, is this me? And if this is me, is it bringing myself? Is it bringing harm to those around me? Is it bringing harm to those? Is it killing my? Am I killing somebody else's character because I can't get enough?
That's
right.
That's right.
It's very important. It's very, very important. So I want to again admonish you guys to do self-checkout. That's the reason for this show. Do self-checkout. And again tonight, if you are one who loves this show, who loves this ministry, won't you be one to share a $40 gift? We're just looking for 29 more weeks. But we're looking for 20 people to say, yes, I will share a gift of $40 with this ministry by the 1st of April. You have 11 days to do it. If you can't give it and want to push it and say, I have it by the 1st of April, won't you say that? Reach out to us. We will make it great. We are going to work out this connection issue. Xfinity, you got to do better because I can't have this. So, but we're going to work that out. Anyway, for myself and my co-hosts, Nancie and Crystal, we would like to thank you guys for watching on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube Live, and for those of you that are listening to the brand new podcast on Spotify. I'm your host, Pastor Will, the Self-Checkout Show, and we will see you guys together in 2 weeks. But I'll be back next week. I got some hot stuff for you from the Word of God. So join us back, guys. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.